you want headphones? Now we're live. All right, we are just waiting for Craig to show up. I'll check the sound bites, make sure they're all working. You want to get her headphone? Okay. Yes, you do. Sorry about that. Nope, we'll see Craig when he shows up on Skype. I'll do a quick audio check on this end. Check, check. Hello, hello, hello. Level, 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 level. Okay, I don't want to bring mine too high because it was getting really loud on the feed. Craig is online, which means we should be hearing from him in just a second. Okay. There he is. Push the green one to answer, the red one to hang up. Should I take the red one?
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Is Donna there?
Donna is here. She's running the video. And her mom is sitting in the background. We have an audience.
Oh, no. All right.
First time we had an audience.
Did you have to break the bleachers out?
No, but I did have a dream last night that we had an overwhelming amount of people show up. The house was filled with like 40 people, and 20 of them wanted to get in the studio, and I was arranging chairs, and the studio was trashed with stuff. There were things scattered all on this peninsula, and I'm putting things away, but I can't get through the people. It was just absolute pandemonium.
Okay, put this on your list then. Get you a ticket roll, just in case.
Ticket roll. Limited number.
Yeah, just in case that does come true.
It might, if we're successful. After 10 years, I'm not holding up. I'm not holding my breath. All right, then we are already broadcasting.
Nobody showed up?
No, I did not. Brian was the only one who confirmed, and I have not seen Brian. So we'll soldier on without him.
Brian?
If the doorbell rings halfway through, we'll keep rolling the broadcast, and then we'll edit that part out in the audio.
Yeah, we'll send your mother-in-law to go get the door. Oh, I don't know if they can hear me, but tell them I said hello.
They can hear you. They got cans on their head.
Hello, y'all.
Oh, nope, Donna's mic isn't up. You want to talk, Donna?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk during the show, but talk right now. I want to say hi.
Hello.
And Scott Tyler and Tim Elliott are on comments.
Yeah,
Craig listening.
Craig, jump on the comments. You're gonna have to keep.
Craig must have jumped on.
Yep.
I got 3.
Okay.
Let me jump in there.
You can turn me down now.
I'm turning you down. I won't go out with you tonight. How's that?
Ouch. Well, that was your only chance, Chuck.
She had her opportunity when I asked her to marry me. All right, then we shall begin. Aye,
aye? Aye. I'm actually getting it right now. Oh, hey.
Yes.
Let me mute the...
Okay.
Mute the video. So, actually, I should just pause it. I wish I could get in the chat without the video.
Oh,
I don't think it's affecting my bandwidth, so I'm fine.
Okay. Yeah, just pause it. You'll know what we said.
Yeah.
Just think 30 seconds ago.
All right.
Okay, hitting record. 3, 2, 1. Oh, careful. Don't. Actually, there's nobody even watching the other screen, so you don't need to worry about it. But it would be for my benefit that it's up there. Okay. Technorama episode 428. Some people just want to watch the world burn in.
Good morning, folks. This is your captain speaking.
Technorama.
Remember when?
Technorama.
On this day in tech history.
Tech.
And now, the news.
Tech.
What the chuck?
Technorama.
Welcome to Blockhead Video.
The cops are not chasing me, but FYI, I need a place to hide.
Over there, in the media corner.
Technorama.
Hold my beer and watch this.
Unfasten your seatbelts and disregard all safety rules. Here are your flight crew, Chuck and Craig.
Welcome to Technorama. This is the show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If this is your first time listening to Technorama, thank you for joining us. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. We appreciate you giving us your time. I am Chuck Tomasi, and with me as always is Craig Stepp. How are you, Craig?
I'm starting to emerge from the frigid cold here in the South.
Yeah, I emerged in September and went to the warm South.
Came out of hibernation and left.
Yeah, the whole frozen half of the country has got everybody's attention. But
Yeah,
I continue to post those things on Facebook where I'm showing, hey, it's nice and 70s here. Come on out.
Shut up. Actually, I understand that, it gets really cold elsewhere, but when I look at my phone and the temperature says 6 here, that's cold.
I'd get out the sad violin, but I don't have it handy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm having to go outside and break the ice for the cats so they can keep drinking all day. It's terrible.
Oh, bring the darn cats inside, man.
No. Not these are outside cats.
Oh, okay.
These are not the ones that live in the house with us. We don't let
the
those
cats
out.
you're looking for.
They don't live. The cats that are in the house, they stay in the house. They don't go outside.
All right, this is not the cat cast.
And then this one cat.
No.
Okay.
We scour millions of feeds and billions of articles on the internet, and this is the best we can come up with this week. We have lost stories, the Magic 8 Ball, and video game cartridges. All that and much, much more coming up right after this.
Greetings from TG Geeks Webcast, where Ben and Keith, the two gay geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery. Sci-fi, comics, film, horror genre, you name it, we talk about it. Find our episodes each week on tggeeks.com. Visit our Facebook page, TG Geeks Webcast. You can tweet at TG Geeks and at the two gay geeks. Peace.
Hi, my name is Dean. I'm nobody special, I'm nobody important, but you are still listening to Technorama.
I beg to differ with that.
I like that.
I beg to differ.
What? That you're listening?
Dean's important.
Okay.
He's special.
Everybody's special who listens to this show.
No, Dean is quote unquote special. You know what I mean?
We asked for your feedback last week about what would you build out of a Raspberry Pi, and we got a response from, of course, Mad Marv, who said, I would try replacing the Debian server. Oh, wait, we forgot the music, right? Here. Yeah. We have to have some fun with this anyway.
Yeah, come on, man. With the program.
Letters. Oh, we
just trying to rush through.
We get your letters every day. Mailman, mail today. Reach right out and pull one out. Those letters, I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say.
Oh boy!
Mailman, mail today.
Hey, and the glue was tough on that envelope.
It was a metal envelope. It was email. Mad Marv writes, I would try replacing the Debian server at my office with a Raspberry Pi. The new server runs DHCP and DNS for the office, and is also a dumb file server. As opposed to, what, a smart file server?
You know what? He shouldn't insult it.
You dumb file server. I'd like to try separating the network services and have the Debian server as a backup. And I believe you had a response to this in an email thread. Would you care to share?
What did I say?
Oh, boy. I don't know. I deleted the mail. You said you could also use something else. I forgot what you said.
What did I say?
Go back in your Gmail and read it.
Hold on. Yeah.
Do we have to do the history thing first? Well, you do.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Maybe I can pull it up really fast.
Yeah. This is
And I can't
terribly
search-
interesting to the listener right now.
That's right.
Search.
What did I say? Raspberry Pi.
Raspberry
I just
Pi.
told him. Oh yeah, you should be able to do that easy enough with a Pi. As a matter of fact, I think what we were talking about was they came out with the Raspberry Pi 2.
Yes.
Which is much faster than the original one and the same form factor. So yeah, I would think that you should be able to do this with like no trouble at all.
Just don't take a picture of your Raspberry Pi 2. Did you read those articles? If you take a picture of the Pi 2, it like shuts down. It turns off. It resets.
No.
Yes.
What?
I don't know if it's got a photo sensor on there or something. It's pretty bizarre.
What?
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing.
I know. That's what I was thinking too.
Okay.
What else was I going to say about the Raspberry Pi? Now I don't remember. Well, Pi Day is March 14th, but that has nothing to do with anything here.
Oh, I did watch. Do you remember we talked about Ben Heck before?
Yes.
The modder guy. I just watched a video that he had on YouTube on his YouTube. Excuse me, on his YouTube channel, and it was where he built a MAME game thing, like a Game Boy, but it was for MAME, and he 3D printed the case to go on it, and he had everything, of course, measured out and perfect for the Pi, and I think he had an Arduino board in there and an LCD with the battery, and it all fit together just perfect.
Ooh, that's cool.
It was pretty cool. He used a little bit of acetane to make the 3D printing case look smoother, although it didn't look perfect, but it looked nice. And he even 3D printed the buttons and everything.
Nice. Yeah, he's a very creative man. So my question to you, since you've had a whole week to think about this, what would you build out of a Raspberry Pi or Pi 2, Craig?
I have similar to what Kyle said, is I have a Linux box over here that does some functions, not necessarily DHCP rather, but does some file sharing. So with a Plex server, a Plex media server. So I would probably try and replace the Plex media server with one. And I may do it. I was thinking about buying one of these to try it out.
Now, the motherboard itself and everything that comes with it is about $35, but you still have to invest in, some storage, some video, something to do I/O, because it is really a minimalistic system when you get down to it.
Minimalistic, but it does have HDMI on it.
Yes. Oh, that's true. So you could use any old TV.
Yeah, it has HDMI. I think it has USB.
Like four USBs. Could you use that USB for your storage, or would it be fast enough?
Why not? Yeah, should be.
Okay.
And of course, you put your system on an SD card. It has like an ST slot on there, and I think it's got audio out. So, if you wanted to play audio music, maybe make an MP3 player out of it. So, I think I would probably put it in place of my. See, I got this laptop. Of course, when somebody starts watching a video, you hear it spin up and the fan starts kicking in.
Mm-hmm.
But the Raspberry Pi is not designed with a fan, so it would be very quiet.
Would it be very hot, though? Does it need a fan if you were to start processing video?
I mean, it's designed to be run without one, so I imagine it wouldn't need one. So, you know what?
What?
I'm going to find out.
You're going to buy one?
By golly, yes, I am. I will.
Okay. I would build some sort of automation system, whether it's home automation or something. I would get a cluster of these things and just scatter them throughout the house and let them all talk to each other on the network, and then hook them up to the various I/O ports and make those do things. I want the Internet of Things, and I want to make those things.
Yeah, I mean the possibility is endless. You have it open your garage door or something, or whatever. There's a million things you could do with this. I mean, you put Linux on there. What can't you do? It's a computer.
Put it on a drone.
Yeah,
all right,
that's right.
Let's do the history thing.
Okay.
On this day in history for February 25th, 2015, this is the 56th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. There are just 309 days remaining in 2015. Get your Christmas shopping done. It was on this date in 1836 that Samuel Colt is granted a United States patent for the Colt revolver.
Patent. February 25th, 1866, miners in Calvarez County, California, discover what is now called the Calvarez skull. Human remains that supposedly indicate that man, mastodons, and elephants had coexisted.
And they all had shared an apartment back then.
Yeah, it's like a little commune in the cave.
87 years ago today, Charles Jenkins Laboratories of Washington, D.C. becomes the first holder of a television license from the Federal Radio Commission. 87 years ago.
Federal
That was
Radio
like 1928.
Yeah. Also today in 1933, the U.S. Ranger is launched. It is the first U.S. naval ship to be built solely as an aircraft carrier.
The others were retrofitted. They just slapped a deck on them.
Yeah, that's right.
U.S. Air Force launches a satellite employing a U.S. Air Force Atlas/Agena combination from the Point Arguello in California and from Cape Kennedy in Florida on this date in 1964.
And that same date in 1971, the first unit of Pickering Nuclear Generating Station, the first commercial nuclear power station in Canada, goes online.
Canada goes nuclear. Happy birthday goes on this date to one of the Marx Brothers, Zeppo, born on this date in 1901. Quick, can you name all the Marx Brothers?
Zeppo,
Groucho, Chico, Harpo, and the fifth unknown one, Gummo. I'm older than you, that's why.
I know those names.
Read on.
The man behind legendary characters such as Thurston Howell III and Mr. Magoo, Jack Backus, was born today in 1913.
American talk show host Sally Jesse Raphael turns 80. I have no idea why I put that in there.
Wow. And English singer, songwriter, guitarist, and producer George Harrison would have been 72.
Turning 53 today is Canadian English computer scientist Farron Moeller. He was the guy who invented that credit card reader, the little white one.
Oh, really?
Originally, it was going to be called Farron Square.
Comedian actor Carrot Top turns 50. Wow.
Whoa, him and Dr. Dre, they've been doing better than me.
Yeah.
And finally, Sam Gamgee from Lord of the Rings. Actor Sean Astin is a paltry 44. No, just kidding.
Sam is 44?
Sam is 44. He's got to go back to Mordor. And that's the way it was on this day in history for February 25th, 2015. Take it away, band. Alrighty, and turning other things on the calendar, we have a listener birthday calendar over at chuckchat.com/wiki. You can find out that there are several people with birthdays this week, and hopefully you are one of them who just may not have gotten around to being on the wiki yet. We'll tell you how in just a second.
If you don't have a birthday, make one up and just pretend.
Well, we have people putting their wives' birthdays and things on here too as reminders. Apparently, they listen and we tell, only you've got 0 days, Mr. Shepard, to tell your wife Sandy it's her birthday.
0 days.
It's a 0-day exploit. This show comes out on the 25th, and unless he's watching online, it's today. Run.
Quick, think of something fast.
I got you this Technorama.
Yeah.
Also on the 25th is Norbert. I believe it's Norbert Davis, who used to do a podcast. Don't know if he still is or not. Write us, send us a voicemail, something, or promo would be nice too if you are still podcasting. February 28th is Wayne something something from Bethlehem, PA. I just love that one.
What's so funny?
Wayne something something.
Oh, Wayne, I thought you were talking about the Bethlehem part.
No, that's... I wonder if his legal name is something something, like Ocho Cinco.
Hey, I did read an article this week where a guy changed his name to the alphabet.
Yes. It was a lady in, was it Chile?
The lady?
Peru?
Okay.
Yes. And it was in 4 parts. We should have put that story in here.
How do you spell her name? A, B, C, D. Middle name, E, F, G.
What's the combination to unlock the airlock on planet Druidia? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a combination some idiot would put on his luggage.
Hey, that's my luggage.
Hey, what a coincidence. That's the combination of my luggage. And finally, we have a leap year birthday. Paul Dove, a.k.a. Ilmer. I can't tell.
It sounds like Ilmer.
Ilmer. from Malmesbury, UK. Happy birthday to all of you. And if you do want to be on the wiki calendar thingy, then get over to chuckchat.com/wiki and we'll give you a shout out the appropriate time of year.
Also, remember, if your birthday changes, come back and update the calendar.
Yeah. What? The audience loves that one.
Yay! I made somebody laugh.
Good for you. We are going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with many, many things in the regular part of the show. I think we've now got the prequel and the regular show. So, coming up in that second half, if I can hit the right part of this, we have, as we mentioned, video game cartridges, the media corner, and books, and more books. Stick around.
Geek Thoughts.
What would happen if you programmed a 3D printer to print another 3D printer?
Hey, this is Colin Ferguson from Sci-Fi Zuriga. I play Sheriff Jack Carter, and now back to Chuck and Craig on Technorama.
I told you that was a quick break. You like the 3D printer thing?
Yeah, that was nice.
We have many more geek thoughts like that.
What if what was the one I did before? What if a transporter could transport itself?
Or what if you plugged a UPS into another UPS?
Yeah, that was my favorite, actually.
My favorite happened to be mouse balls.
Yeah.
Hacks and strange stories. Have you ever wondered what's inside a Magic 8-Ball, Craig?
Yeah, because mine was leaking all over the place one time.
Yeah, that's because everybody wants to find out what's inside, and you smash it open.
Had you ever done this? Have you ever seen this?
I have never taken one apart, but I always tried to figure out, where those dice were, and we had to just roll those on game night.
Yeah, that's right. Well, for the longest time, I just assumed it was filled with liquid. I didn't realize it was just a small piece.
Well, yeah, it was filled with liquid, but you figure the liquid was also spherical inside. It is not. It is cylindrical. I feel kind of gypped. You ever see what's inside a bowling ball, like a professional bowling ball? It's not even cylindrical or spherical. It's kind of this weird, I don't know, looks like nuclear reactor kind of thing.
What? On the inside of
the inside of a bowling ball. They have very scientifically shaped cores.
Mm-hmm.
But this just kind of ruins your whole childhood when you see this picture. And
I like the first comment. Web of lies.
Disappointing, but informative.
Actually, it makes a lot of sense because the dice actually or the little answer thing pops up in the same place all the time. You're not like moving it around trying to get it.
I thought there were two die in there. Two dice.
Is it two of them? I thought it was just one.
I'm pretty sure it's two.
Well, no, it wouldn't be because you would see both of them up there at the same time.
No, well,
at some point.
Okay, and based on this, the circumference, the radius of the cylinder and the size of the triangle that you see, it makes sense that only one would fit in there. Otherwise, the second one would never be able to pop to the top. Okay, yeah,
maybe. Okay. You know what I'd like? I'd like to take one, and there's probably one I can buy. Put a D20 in there. When you roll, you just turn your 8-ball over.
You want to hack an 8-ball?
Yeah.
Go for it, man. That in your Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a Raspberry Pi in there.
From a manufacturing standpoint, it's got to be much, much easier to manufacture a plastic cylinder than it is a sphere.
I got an idea. Well, I'll take an 8-ball apart. I'll dispense with the cylinder. I'll put a Raspberry Pi in there and a little screen. So
that puts
when you
a
flip
D20?
it over, no, just when the screen would show, random questions, answers, or maybe
that actually sounds like a halfway decent fun project.
If I put it in dice mode, maybe it would just show the dice. That would be cool.
There's got to be like a dice app that you can do on a Raspberry Pi.
I got an 8-ball right here. I'm gonna go crack it. Hold on. I'm kidding.
What OS can you load on a Raspberry Pi? Is that Ubuntu?
Debian? I think it comes with Debian. I'm not sure. Well, you kind of install it yourself, so I don't know.
I thought we said the Raspberry Pi 2 was not coming with a free license of Windows 10 when it comes out.
Well, see, that's what I thought you said last week, and I was kind of curious because that seems a little weird.
What don't we say on this show that sounds a little weird?
Yeah, right. Good point.
You are moving along. You are monitoring the chat room.
Windows 10. For the last 6 months, we've been working closely with Microsoft to bring forth the Windows 10 to Raspberry Pi 2. Microsoft will have much more to share in the coming months. Raspberry Pi 2 compatible versions of Windows 10 will be available for free of charge. So I'm sure it won't be it can't be a full-blown system because this thing probably can't handle it, but I don't know, that's kind of neat.
I would hope they would include some developer tools of some type.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I'm sure they would. I have to say, I'm not saying I'm ready to, love Microsoft to death, but because of all the crap they've been doing over the years, but it seems like they're really turning their company around.
Yes.
Being a little more friendly.
And I've been reading similar reviews myself that they are making a second showing, a strong recovery, shall we say?
This is what they should have been doing all along, is being cool about stuff like this. Where years ago, if somebody said, "Hey, I got Windows on my Raspberry Pi," they'd sue them.
You're right.
Or threaten them or something. I don't know. But so,
do we have anybody in the chat room?
Yes, we do.
Sorry to cut you short, but we have like 5 more bullet items to get through.
I see Tim Elliott, Scott Tyler. He's everywhere, man, on the internet.
Scott.
And Tim Elliott, Scott. That's all I see, man. And me.
We had one more? Didn't we have one more earlier? No.
If they were, they've gone by now.
Well, I give them a resounding applause. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for joining us. And, that's about 2 more in the audience than we've had the last few weeks.
And there was much rejoicing.
Got to remember, we're just starting the video thing off again. So it's always fun to do this live.
Hey, Chuck.
Yes?
And there was much rejoicing. Yay, yay.
All right. Remember when? If I play this song too long, we get flagged on YouTube for using it. So I will talk over it as much as possible to keep the musical. Yes, it says your video may be blocked in some countries. Like, what?
Maybe it's time we retire this and go with something else.
I guess Somalia won't be listening to much Technorama lately on YouTube.
Yeah, right. Let's just keep talking over it. So
right, then they can't
kind of mask it over.
Right, yep. So in the Remember When, we have Jeffrey Lawson, a self-taught engineer, gave us video game cartridges. Amazing. This is February is Black History Month, and we are almost out. And apologize for not doing more Black History shows, but if you've got fond memories of blowing into video game cartridges, remember you had to do that to get them to work sometimes.
Or a pencil eraser. Yes,
You've got Jerry Lawson to thank. As the head of engineering and marketing for Fairchild Semiconductor. Wow, they were instrumental because they were like the backbone of the guys who left and started Intel and whatnot, too.
And look, he's laughing at us.
Their gaming outfit in the mid-'70s, Lawson developed the first home gaming console that utilized interchangeable cartridges, the Fairchild Channel F. The system never saw the heights of popularity of consoles of Atari, Nintendo, and Sega, but it was a significant step forward for the entire gaming industry. Prior to the Channel F, what was their Channel E? Games like Pong were built directly into their hardware. There was no swapping them out to play something else, and few believed that you could even give a console a microprocessor of its own. Lawson, who passed away at 70 from diabetes complications in 2011, was the first major African-American figure in the game industry. And just like the tech world of today, it still isn't as diverse as it should be. Only 2% of game developers in 2005 were African-American, according to a study by the International Game Developers Association, who also honored Lawson as a game pioneer a month before his death. But things were even worse during Lawson's time. For his first 5 years at Fairchild, the company and its executives actually thought he was Indian. If you see this picture on the video, there is no flipping way.
All you Indians look alike.
Wow. That's
funny.
They all wear ties and gold watches? What? He was also one of the 2 black members of the Homebrew Computing Club. Ooh, we know who they're famous for, right?
Yes, the Apple.
Mr. Wozniak, yes. Who that famously included Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and other Silicon Valley pioneers.
So you went from Black history to the whitest thing you could talk about. Steve Wozniak.
You're gonna get us some kind of crazy rating or spam.
I hope not.
Craig's always good for generating the email, right? It's the only way we can get listener feedback.
Yeah, it's called phishing. We'll get something.
We'll start turning into Jerry Springer Technorama soon. We have Media Corner. Where's my Media Corner icon?
That's
yes.
Welcome to Blockhead Video.
Hey, where can I find some good information about music and TV and videos and things?
Over here in the Media Corner.
I like this article. I don't have a picture for this, by the way.
By the way, I was going to say, let's try and break YouTube again with the Media Corner music.
I think I've got an ad trying to play in the background here. Something's going wacky.
An ad?
Can you hear that?
Well,
yeah, it's like a Dodge Ram commercial.
Well, I got to tell you, this article popped up today, and I thought it was important enough to throw it in the show last minute. So
read on.
Anyway, while there are plenty of female superheroes in the Marvel and DC universes, you don't know it by looking at the superhero movies or merchandise that currently dominate the pop culture landscape, and that is true.
Well, you got Wonder Woman and Supergirl.
Yeah. So a female superhero is yet to star in her own movie, and finding toys, t-shirts, and other gear based on female heroes is not exactly the easiest thing to do. So that was the problem for 11-year-old Rowan Hansen. She loves comics, but when she received a group of Justice League action figures for her birthday, she noticed something upsetting. That of the 12 figures available, only 2 were female, despite the number of prominent female heroes having been part of the all-star team of superheroes. So she decided to write a letter to DC in order to express her frustrations, and a letter that her father later shared online.
Dear DC Comics, my name is Rowan, and I am 11 years old. I love superheroes.
Hey, don't patronize her. Read it correctly.
I've been reading comics and watching superhero cartoons and comics since I was very young. I am a girl, and I am upset because there aren't very many girls, superheroes, and movies and comics from DC. What's wrong with you people?
You sound like a Monty Python skit.
For my birthday, I got some of your Justice League. Keep going.
So anyway, DC responded to her and said, "Thanks, we agree. Working hard on superhero movies, superhero fun for girls, and Wonder Woman is coming out.
Yes,
and
it is.
The Supergirl TV show is coming out. That's a start. Anyway, she appeared on the Today Show, and they went through the whole thing talking about her letter and just basically what we talked about her. And DC not only gave her a basket full of DC related stuff, but gave her some original art. It turned her into a Supergirl hero. So
very cool.
Yeah, and the artwork is in the article, and you can check it out. It's really nice little piece. And I obviously can't relate totally to that because I'm a guy and I just read comics. I don't think about the gender thing, but I can think of several females that are, especially my Facebook list, and some of their children that would love to see some more female superhero action. And I think it's time.
It goes beyond just the gender thing, though. It goes to the race, too. I mean, think about how many different... most of these superheroes are white guys, right?
Probably,
and
the
when
majority,
you see females, there's secondary characters, like Canary is to Arrow, or Batgirl is to Batman.
Well, when I think of... obviously, I think of Hal Jordan when I think of Green Lantern, but Jon Stewart, he also sticks out in my head, and he's a black guy.
The guy from The Daily Show?
Not that Jon Stewart. No.
Oh. Well, he's stepping down, by the way.
Yes. And so there's Jon Stewart. I can think of a few, but yes, you're right. This is not diverse enough in any direction.
No, it's not. And I hope that... you got to remember, the origins of a lot of these core characters started, in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. They're now 50 years old or more, and then that was just kind of a bias of the time. And it's tough to come out with new characters like that. We got to call the Generalissimo on this one and see if Stan Lee can come out with something.
Yeah, sure.
So
Well,
let's get him on an interview.
I bet in the Marvel universe there's a Black Spider-Man now instead of Peter Parker. There's some diversity, but yeah, it's not enough.
I wish we had some guests in the studio, like Mr. Menengay or Brown or Adamek.
Yeah. Well, it'd be nice if they show up.
Well, they're always invited.
Yeah.
Don't harass our guests. This is low stress.
I'm sorry,
man.
I should leave the harassment for our listeners. That's where I'm mixing up. That's where I'm messing up.
Yeah. All right, into the Geek Library. We still need a musical bumper thing to get into the
You know
Geek
what? We should
Library.
probably redo all our music so it's YouTube friendly.
What? Yeah, maybe.
So anyway, this is the
You've got Digital Juice Collection, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go
We can
find
throw
something
together. We just got to think of something crafty and clever to say.
That's right.
All
right, so
retooling. Anyway, keep going.
So we got a couple of stories in here that are near and dear to my heart, of course, because I love these authors rather, and their work. So it made me happy to see that there was a previously unpublished Dr. Seuss book that is actually coming out this summer. So when Dr. Theodore Seuss Geisel, I keep wanting to just say Dr. Seuss. No wonder he went by Dr. Seuss. It's easier to say. He passed away in 1991. He left behind a few manuscripts that were nearly finished. One of the manuscripts, What Pet Should I Get?, is currently being colored and will be
posthumously.
You want to say the TH. Posthumously. Published this coming July, which is really cool.
Yay!
What do you think? You going to buy it?
I don't have kids, but I'm considering it.
Maybe you can use your Audible credits. Get
Dr. Seuss on Audible.com. It's not quite the same because you get it for the artwork as much as the story. Audible presents Green Eggs and Ham by Theodore Geisel.
Yeah.
I am Sam. Sam, I am.
Stephen Fry presents What Pet Should I Get from Dr. Seuss.
Narrated by Will Wheaton.
Yeah, that's right. So moving right along, the other part of it, I love Sherlock. And
wait, you didn't want to finish reading the rest of the story? According to the New York Times, Random House will publish What Pet Should I Get?, a book about two siblings and their quest for a pet. Oh, I wonder if
I didn't want to spoil it.
On July 28th, mark your calendars. Geisel's widow, Audrey and Claudia Prescott. Geisel was a widow, Audrey, and Claudia Prescott, who worked for many years as his secretary, discovered the nearly complete manuscript in 2013 in a box that had been set aside after Geisel's death. The manuscript was likely written between 1958 and 1962. Wow, long time ago. Random House is currently in the process of adding color to his black and white illustrations and preparing the book for publication. And it sounds like this won't be the last Dr. Seuss book we'll see. Woohoo! Random House is planning to publish 2 other works from newly discovered Geisel materials. Time capsule, way to keep the estate paid for.
It is pretty cool, and it's always, it's always like when you hear a musician died, and then we found the lost tapes. It's kind of like that.
There's an old Yoko Ono joke in there, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah. So anyway, moving right along to an article I already spoiled for you, is that another story has been found from Arthur Conan Doyle. He wrote a story for a Sherlock Holmes story, and I'll tell you a little bit about that story because I actually read most of it. Actually, the article I haven't read.
He's been dead longer. They ought to be more valuable.
Yes. So, a historian from the Scottish Burr of Selkirk, I guess I'm saying that right, has uncovered the lost Sherlock Holmes story in his attic. After the town's bridge was swept away in a flood, Arthur Conan Doyle penned a tale to raise money for a new bridge. His literary effort formed part of a collection, the Big Book O' the Brig. That's harder to say than.
Maybe you ought to be reading it with an English accent. It'll sound better. Don't try it.
No. He released on the occasion of the 3-day funding event in Selkirk in 1904. Doyle's story, called Sherlock Holmes Discovering the Border Boroughs and, by deduction, and the Brig Bazaar.
That's quite a title.
It is a
I say
title.
we stick with What Pet Should I Get?
It was a little easier to say.
Sherlock Holmes discovers what pet should I get.
Yeah. So it's kind of a low stakes story. It's kind of short, actually. Probably is a lot shorter than other stories he has. But you can read the whole thing in the article. It's right at the bottom. And I started reading it. It's pretty good.
Oh, you can read the whole story. It's right here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What it is it's not really told from Watson's point of view or Sherlock. What it is the editor is telling this guy in a newspaper to go do an interview with Sherlock Holmes. Well, they won't pay for him to travel to go talk to Sherlock Holmes, so he encourages the guy to make up a story, and that's kind of where this comes from. So
we've got a few minutes. How about I read it now?
You almost can.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know, if you printed it out, maybe 2 pages.
Mm-hmm. So moving right along. Now here you go. Yeah, we'll save that for you.
Lost piece.
So another lost piece.
Well, this isn't lost. This is just something that's coming out. I don't know. Maybe. Well, is read on. I'll ask questions later.
Okay, so this is Harper Lee is finally releasing her first novel since To Kill a Mockingbird. And
she's the one who wrote To Kill a Mockingbird, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And actually, that was the only book she wrote. Well, except for, I'm sorry, the only one that was published.
You probably gave her $200 for the movie rights.
Yeah, probably. You know, Jimmy Stewart was. Yeah, Jimmy Stewart was in that, right?
No, that was.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
No, doggone it! He looks like my brother-in-law. What's his name? Not Cary Grant.
Rock Hudson.
No, it wasn't Rock Hudson. Oh, come on, listeners. Help
Gregory
me.
Peck.
Gregory Peck. That's who it was. Yes, it was Gregory Peck. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I think she actually started this book before To Kill a Mockingbird, but they wanted this book. So anyway, let me read on. A new novel by To Kill a Mockingbird author Harper Lee will come out July 14th. The publisher, Harper, announced on Tuesday.
They want to get a 2-week jump on Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, we got to beat that doctor. Titled Go Set a Watchman. It reads as a sequel to Mockingbird, chronicling the adult scout's return to her childhood home in Macomb, Alabama, during the flowering of the 1950 Civil Rights Movement. Lee began her work on Watchmen before starting on the Pulitzer Prize-winning Mockingbird. Until now, the famously
reticent.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't think I've ever read that word before. Reticent author's only novel. This will be her first publication of 50 years after a slew of biographies attempting to shed light on her life and work. Lee, she's 88, she's in poor health and reportedly losing her sight and hearing, apparently denounced the latest effort. I'm sorry. I started reading a parens side note. They were talking about a tell-all book or something about her. But anyway. So yeah, the book's coming out. It was actually written before To Kill a Mockingbird. So that'd be interesting. I did not realize that she only wrote one book.
Well, one famous book. It says she wrote some biographies and things too.
Well, I mean, to be such a famous work.
Yep.
You know, and then that was really the only big thing she published.
Well, that's not that uncommon, really.
Really?
Yeah.
Mostly, I guess it's mostly anybody else it happens because they don't want it to. I want to publish this next one, but they won't let me.
It's a 304-page book that will be published in its long-forgotten original version without any revisions, reports the Associated Press. Very cool. Mm-hmm. That sounds intriguing. Now that I'd get on Audible.
Yeah, there you go.
Hope they come out with it soon after.
Oh, by the way, the Arthur Conan Doyle story, I meant to mention that I don't think it was this article. I ended up seeing like 3 articles. I thought I clipped the one, but it had a picture of the actual book. The compilation, this was in, and it looked like it was obviously weathered, but it was a really cool looking book because it had like just the cover. It was like tall and thin, kind of neat. So maybe I'll link to the other articles so you can see what it looked like.
Okay, lots of good stuff this week. We are ending a little bit early, but before we go, we have another question for you, valuable listener.
This is I called this our echo test.
I like this. Yeah, it's kind of like a ping. We need to find out how fast the packets come back.
Well, ICMP didn't really have the same ring as Echo Test.
ICMP. I like Echo Test. It sounds technical yet simple to remember.
Right.
What is it you want to ask the listener?
What is your first memory of using a computer?
Can I give my answer now, or do I have to wait till next week?
Let's see the conversation. Yeah, go ahead and give your answer now.
Okay. I have a very early of seeing a computer, but I didn't actually get to use it. I was going with my brother over to one of his friend's house, and I think he had a Trash 80. And I didn't really get to use it, but that was the first time I saw one. And then kind of blindly marching into it in high school, there was a computer course offered my junior year, and that's where I got exposure to the Apple II. And that was really my first exposure to using a computer. And I sat down, and once I got my hands on that, I was hooked. It's like, wow, I can make this machine do what I want it to do. Mm-hmm. And I would stay after school and crack open the Apple tutorial books and read. And before I knew it, it was dark, and I'd have to walk 2.5 miles home in the snow uphill both ways. Oh. But it was worth it because I got so much just out of experimenting, typing in the programs that were in the book, and modifying them slightly and finding out what worked and what broke them, and talking with friends who, some of them actually had a computer at home, so I could bounce ideas off of them, and they seemed like so uber smart at the time, and they probably only knew just a few more things than I did.
Right.
But it was interesting because even at that time, as I was learning something new, you'll find this familiar to what I do for a job today, is I would discover something new and I would turn around and share it with my friends. And at one point, I had handwritten a little book of advanced Apple techniques that I would circulate around the school.
Oh, there you go. So you were starting a newsletter.
A newsletter, enablement, whatever you want to call it. It was very reminiscent. As the more I think about it, about what I do today, you can kind of trace these little roots back and go, oh yeah, I guess I have been doing that for a really freaking long time.
Yeah, right.
All right, how about you? What's your first computer memory? Is it that Christmas story that you have recorded when you got your Commodore 64? No. Can we just link to that?
Yeah, I could. Actually, you know what? It goes a little farther than that. Okay, I got two firsts in my computer history. How about that?
The first one firsts.
Well, let me tell you, because it's not, the first one wasn't technically a computer, or was it? It was actually one of those Play School computers I had. Now listen, you put the card in. You put the card in, and you turn the thing, and you push the button. I've got a picture of it. I'm gonna post it in the article. And the two tape reels would go and spin around like it was computing. And that made me think. It was cool.
Like a mainframe tape drive thing.
I wish I could just share this with you right now and show you a picture of it. But
you have to Google it and show us a picture next week.
It's a Play School toy, and it had a handle on top, and it had it's all one piece, and it looks like it has two tape reels, on the front.
And you point it to the chicken, and it says, "This is the rooster."
Cock-a-doodle-doo. That's not far off. It's not quite like that, but yeah, it's similar. You'll see what I'm talking about when I link to it. Anyway, so that's really I kind of seeded the thought in my mind about computers. All right, so fast forward, and when I had a friend when we lived in Texas, his name's Robert Fisher, and I'm still in contact with him today. But this is when we were in the 4th, 5th grade or something like that, and we went to his house, and his dad worked at a university, and they had this Apple, and it had a coupler modem beside it. And I just thought that was the coolest thing. It was an Apple, and he could dial into the mainframe at the college. And, I was hooked. And I remember going over his house, and we play games on it, like the Star Trek. You remember the Star Trek game where you have the grid?
Yes.
And you had to...
I could never figure that game out.
Well, I always thought that was fantastic. And then that kind of stuff really sparked my imagination and started getting into programming. And of course, the same time Popular Science was, Popular Electronics, I had the magazine, and I would see the computers and stuff starting to come out in it. And I just thought that was kind of neat. Now, Popular Science. So anyway, that's kind of real. My first touch on my computer was at Robert's house. So
And how old were you then?
Oh, what was I was born 69, so it was probably like 12 or so, 11.
You do realize that Harrison has never been in a world without computers.
Oh yeah, I realize
without
it.
Mobile devices, without video games, without The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm. The Simpsons, of course.
Okay, I took a left turn there.
So yeah, I mean it's amazing to think how much I wanted to touch one of these machines, and how he's got 800 times the power of those machines and sitting in his bedroom.
And is he? You had mentioned. Now this kind of joins into what you had asked me this week. You had mentioned that he's got to take a programming course.
Yes.
And maybe we can get some listener feedback off of that too. You have a choice to make.
Yeah. See, me, I prefer scripting languages. So we had a choice between programming in C and Python, and I was kind of leaning towards Python.
Now, when you say scripting, you mean like an interpreted languages rather than a compiled.
I'm sorry. Exactly. When I say scripted language, I mean you just run it from the command line, not like C where you have to compile it and do something with it. So that's what I was getting at. So I prefer like the scripted languages, but I think we ended up signing them. I think she's signing them up for C. But either one's going to. I mean, I still learn. I still use some of my not techniques. I would say techniques. But some of my principles I learned even from basic programming back in the day, so I think any programming is good for
I have to disagree. I think basic is about the least used thing that I ever use.
I'm not talking about I don't write 10 and 20, I'm talking about just the principle. I mean, just the thought process. Okay, I can make a routine and go to this and return. That kind of stuff is what I'm getting at.
I usually go for more of a structured programming language when I think about that stuff. Like, what have I got? What do I need to do? Can I make it a small little encapsulated piece that I can reuse later? But I'm kind of with you. When it comes to learning new languages, I would point somebody at an interpreted or scripted language.
Yeah, so anyway, that's what I wasn't talking about the base, print. I'm saying I was talking about the fundamentals of programming, period. Yeah. How do I solve this problem? What is X? That kind of stuff.
Well,
that's
just
what I'm talking about.
learning Boolean algebra. If A and B or C and D, what gets evaluated first, and learning De Morgan's theorem to reverse everything. That's incredibly valuable that you can carry along to any language.
That's what I'm saying. Those principles I learned along the way that I still use today. So that's what I'm getting at.
All right. And on that, we want to know, lovely listener.
Wait, before you go.
You didn't give him the email thing.
Wait a minute, before you go.
Okay.
I do want to apologize to Robert Fisher. I hope he listens to this because...
would you steal a floppy disk or something?
No, I was at his house one night, and I remember this vividly because it bothered me. I hurt his feelings because I wanted to mess with his computer badly. So we're spending the night. He wanted to do some other stuff, and I wanted to sit in front of his computer. So I hurt his feelings, and I'm sure he's over it. Probably don't even think about it now.
This is like 30 years ago, and you're just now apologizing?
Maybe a little bit more than 30. But yes, I'll probably go link to this and tell him I'm sorry.
Zip ahead to about 48 and a half minutes, and Craig's apology is there.
I wake up in the middle of the night and go, I need to apologize to Robert.
Oh, my God.
I care about people, man.
Let's hear from you. We want to hear your first memory of using a computer, if you're old enough to remember a time without computers, or even if you think you had them all your life. When was the first one you had? Give us a call.
Call the listener line at 206.
No, the new number.
What are you doing?
No, I'm just kidding. It's 206-222-2428. Call us, or you can send your email.
Send your comments to technorama@chuckchat.com.
And we'll stick them in the next show. We want to hear from you. What is your first memory of using a computer? Then we be done. The end. Oh, wait. There's supposed to be music or something. Yeah.
Yeah, as I say.
You want music? I got music for you. And then I can do all my thank yous for everybody. Thank you to Matt Maher for providing the great blog content during the week and posting that to our webpage. By the way, I think I mentioned this on the last one. We did migrate our hosting providers and or not the provider, but just hosting service level. So if you spot anything weird on the website, let us know, and we will get on that. Craig has been hugely instrumental in solving most of the problems that I find. So we believe we have all the audio files and all the configuration and everything back up and running in a much more supportable way. But if you spot anything, 206-222-2428 or Technorama at chuckchat.com. Find all our good stuff over there on chuckchat.com/Technorama. We would love to see you. Thank you for everybody who hung out with us on the YouTube thingy that we do each week, 9:30 on Sunday night. Until next time, tell a friend about Technorama and give me a binary high five.
101. That was my first computer imitation.
No, your first computer didn't talk. It's went beep.
It did. Maybe it did to me.
And we're done. To talk to me.
I was trying to post a link to the Play School thing in a chat. It won't let me.
Oh.
It says remove links. I'm like, oh.
I don't think I have any editing to do on this show. That was a one-trick pony. Hang on.
Hey, go look in. Here you go.
That was
What?
interesting. That was when I was reading like the girl.
Oh.
Yep. All right. Let's stop the video. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will see you again next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
We love you.
Hey, Dave.